Victor Vran Overkill Edition is an action RPG very much like Diablo, but with its own identity and twist. Released prior on PS4 and X1, this action RPG is now available for Nintendo's hit hybrid console. Is this hunt worth taking part in, or is it better to avoid at all costs? Victor Vran heads to Zagaravia to find a close friend of his who has gone missing. However, upon getting there, he notices the city is filled with demonic creatures that roam the area. It doesn't take long to realize his missing friend may have seen some unfortunate circumstances. From this point, Victor Vran decides to help the Queen of Zagaravia and try to lift a curse that's inflicting the city. Mechanically, Victor Vran does feel very much like Diablo as mentioned earlier, and frankly, that's not a bad thing at all. Sure, Diablo 3 is already headed to the Switch later this year, but between this and Titan Quest, there are options for action RPG fans out there. Victor Vran can wield two different weapons that you can switch on the fly, and each weapon has 3 different attacks you can use. These attacks have cooldown times, so when battles get intense, timing your attacks is a must. Victor can wield a variety of weapons, such as swords, shotguns, scythes, and hammers, just to name a few of them. Me particularly, I loved having a scythe and shotgun combo mapped, something immensely satisfying about utilizing those 2 weapons on the fly. While dishing out attacks on enemies, you will fill up the overdrive meter. Overdrive attacks will do some serious damage output and really comes in handy when swamped around enemies or dealing with significantly stronger enemies. One cool mechanic is the wall jump feature that helps bring some platforming into the game. There's also a card mechanic in place that lets you equip cards that provide passive abilities such as extra HP, more range attack damage, etc. The more you level up, the more cards you can have equipped simultaneously. The game's hub will be where you spend time and resources getting ready for the next location to tackle. Levels are interconnected amongst each other, but the hub allows for quick travel to any area unlocked. Each level will also have 5 optional challenges to tackle. Completing any one in a level will net you rewards like an XP boost or gold coin boost. You can access any level through the map room in the hub, and should you either not complete a challenge or miss it entirely, you can easily just go back and try to clear it up. This is a good way to earn additional XP and gold if you find yourself in a bind. However, if you really find yourself struggling with the game's difficulty, you can always switch it to casual mode at any time during your playthrough. The game has a ton of content off the bat. Since this is a definitive edition, the game not only has the main campaign, but also 2 additional DLC campaigns included, drastically bumping up the game's longevity and really adding bang for your buck. And of course, any good action RPG wouldn't be without co-op, and Victor Vran has 4-player co-op both local and online. Online co-op works seamlessly on the Switch, and allows for a party system to invite friends, or set your session for either public or friends only to just join in on the fly. Co-op works really well and furthers the game's enjoyment to be able to tackle the forces of evil together. One truly impressive feature is the fact that all players do not have to be tethered to a single area. When entering a new area or going back to the hub, you can do so without forcing other players to do the same. This is really awesome. The fact that you can go back to the hub and do a few tweaks to your inventory while others continue a mission or have others explore different areas separately, it just leaves this great sense of freedom for all the players. Visually, Victor Vran did take some concessions from the PS4 X1 versions of the game, but it still looks great. The game does run at an unlocked frame rate on the Switch, going between 30 and 60 frames per second, but there were instances of the frame rate dropping to the 20s when things got really intense. Thankfully, the game is still perfectly playable and not a huge issue given the game's style. Texture work looks good, but as mentioned, you can see some scale backs from the other console versions. That being said though, it's still an appealing looking game. The environments are nicely detailed and everything is quite destructible. When playing both docked and undocked, the game looks pretty sharp, especially when you're playing undocked. Victor and his enemies also animate quite well. In terms of audio, sound effects do a great job bringing you into the action. Music, unfortunately, isn't as involved as I would have liked, but it kicks in at the right moments. Of course, if you play the Motorhead expansion, expect some rockin' tunes to play steadily from the band. Last thing to mention is that Victor's voice actor will seem very familiar for fans of the Witcher series. That's right, Geralt of Rivia's voice actor, Doug Cockle, provides Victor a great voice and makes him a pretty cool and badass character.
Moments of decision that one's fate is shaped. I sealed mine long ago, bargaining power from the demon world. But it brought me nothing but pain and grief, and cast me into exile, a wanderer with no safe haven.
Victor Vran Overkill Edition is a Diablo-like game that hits all the right notes. Seeing that this game has hit the Nintendo Switch with every piece of DLC is a great package for the $40 asking price. Whether playing solo or pairing up with others online or locally, Victor Vran is a great action RPG that is highly recommended. While there are some technical issues that do hold it back a bit, the overall package really is great bang for your buck. Action RPG fans really need to give Victor Vran a serious look. That's why I'm giving Victor Vran Overkill Edition a solid 8.0 out of 10.